The ocean is not just water and salt. It is a massive graveyard that has kept its secrets for thousands of years. On the morning of December 5th, 1872, the crew of the Dei Grottia spotted a strange shape on the horizon between the Azores and Gibraltar. A ship was drifting aimlessly with the wind. When Captain Morehouse lifted his binoculars, he couldn't believe his eyes. It was the Mary Celeste, belonging to his friend Captain Benjamin Briggs. But the deck was empty. No helmsman, no lookout. Only a deathly silence. When the crew boarded the ship, they realized they had stepped into a nightmare. The ship was perfectly intact. The cargo hold was full of food and water that could last for months. The crew's private belongings, money, and even diaries that should have been kept dry were still on the tables. Legend says there was still a steaming cup of coffee and a half-eaten breakfast plate in the galley. But one thing was missing: the people. Captain Briggs, his wife Sarah, their 2-year-old daughter Sophia, and 7 experienced sailors had vanished as if they had dissolved into the air. One lifeboat was gone. But why would an experienced captain leave a perfectly safe ship to face the ocean in a tiny boat? There were no signs of a struggle. No blood, no damage. Piracy was ruled out immediately because the gold and the valuable cargo of 1,701 barrels of alcohol were untouched. However, the last entry in the logbook was from the morning of November 25. This meant the ship had sailed 400 miles across the Atlantic for 10 days with no one on board. Even more chilling, the compass was smashed, and there was water in the captain's cabin. Yet the ship was not sinking. What momentary terror could have forced a family and a crew to jump into the freezing abyss? Many theories have emerged over the years. Some say leaking alcohol fumes created a fear of explosion, causing everyone to panic. But there were no burn marks. Others believe a giant squid. From the deep the Kraken plucked the crew members one by one. But the most terrifying theory is a collective madness. Perhaps the loneliness of the ocean and unexplained sounds drove the crew to their own ends. The Mary Celeste was brought back to port, but everyone who stepped on it became part of the curse. The ship suffered constant accidents in the following years until it was eventually abandoned. As for Captain Briggs and his family, they were never heard from again. Did something rising from the dark abyss pull them down? Or do they still roam the empty deck as ghosts whispering in the wind? Today on Ancient Abyss, we dived into the greatest ghost ship mystery. Remember, in the ocean, some answers are hidden far beneath the surface. The Mary Celeste remains the greatest maritime mystery of all time. Found drifting in the Atlantic in 1872. The ship was perfect. The food was on the table. But the crew was gone. What happened to the 10 people on board? Was it pirates, a sea monster, or something